Now we're going to do the lifting and sculpting portion of the Japanese facial massage sequence. Now, everything you do here is to lift upward. You're not providing a lot of pressure necessarily, and you're kind of varying your techniques from superficial to a little more deep into the muscle. As you guys can see here, this is a plucking technique along the jawline. We're lifting it up, and the pressure that I'm using isn't a lot. You're just kind of gently lifting it up. Then you can do some slaps and tapotement along the cheeks, raising upward. You can use 2 fingers or 1 finger if you want to get more specific on a particular area. But as you guys can see, now I'm using a little bit more kind of pressure into the muscle as I do this tapotement and lift upwards. Now, as we do this, the reason why we're doing this is to counteract gravity and aging. So over time, the facial muscles lose tone and connective tissue can become lax, causing sagging. Now, when we do these lifting techniques, you're stimulating the fascia and underlying muscle, and you're also restoring support and counteracting that gravitational pull. As you guys can see here, I'm in the top of that kind of cheek, and I'm lifting everything up using 1 or 2 fingers, trying to maintain a consistent rhythm. You should let clients know that this is more of a workout. As you go through this, the cheeks might get a little bit red during this portion of the treatment specifically. Let the clients know. And I find people really enjoy it. It brings a lot of circulation and kind of rosiness to the cheeks. Some people tend to get sore for maybe 15, 20 minutes after a treatment, but it dissipates quite quickly, and most people don't get sore. If they do, and you have a client and they say that was too much stimulation, you could always change it from 15 minutes of this to 10 minutes and then just do a little bit more work on the neck or some of the more superficial massage work. Another reason why this works so well is for myofascial release. So the gentle but firm upward manipulations are going to help to release adhesions in the fascia, which can restrict muscle mobility and create folds in the skin. So the sculpting movements that we're doing right here are going to reset the fascial tension to a more youthful alignment. This is also going to lead to muscle re-education. So just like exercising for the body, sculpting techniques remind facial muscles to stay lifted and active. This is going to improve tone in muscles like the orbicularis oculi, the zygomaticus, the masseter, and frontalis. These are areas that are critical for youthful contours. Circulation and lymphatic flow is another thing that we're working on here. So the lifting strokes are going to increase blood flow, bringing oxygen and nutrients that plump the skin. It's also going to encourage lymphatic drainage, reducing puffiness, and creating a more defined jawline and cheekbones. As you guys can see here, I'm doing a wide variety of techniques. I'm lifting, I'm working along the jawline with pinching, just wipes upward. This is a workout, and as you guys can see, I'm working quite hard. It reminds me of Lomi Lomi massage in the sense that it is a little bit taxing for the therapist and can be a little bit tiring, but the more you get used to it, it's quite easy to do this treatment. And that's why you kind of work in those relaxation points in the treatment. So that when you get to a point like this where you're working a little harder, you can then rest afterwards along with the client. Now, this is also going to provide neurological stimulation. So by stimulating the facial nerves, the lifting movements are going to improve neuromuscular connections, which enhance responsiveness of the facial muscles, and it can contribute to a more sculpted definition. You want to make sure on one side of the face you do it for 5 or 6 minutes, and then on the other side, follow that up with the exact same sequence. Now, if you change the sequence a bit, not that big of a deal. You just have to make sure that you do a similar amount of time doing the lifting and all the contouring that we're doing right now. So as you guys can see, if you can't maintain the rhythm for a long time, you can just switch up the technique. So if I find that I'm doing tapotement and I'm going back and forth, and then I get a little bit tired or whatever it may be, then you could do paint small instead, like I'm doing right there. And then return back to when you feel like you can maintain a consistent rhythm. Just get back to it and use 1 or 2 fingers and do all of these lifting, plucking techniques. Now, as you guys can see, I'm working around the entirety of the face. You're trying to get all of the muscles, all the circulation going. You don't want to miss any spots. So you're creating this kind of even tone and making sure that the client is feeling relaxed as well as stimulated. Do some nice effleurage to finish off the one side. And then you want to turn the client's head to neutral and then over to the other side. Now, I have a lot of students who like to watch the full sequence, so I'm just going to pair a little bit of music over this portion of the treatment. You guys can watch. There's really not much more else to say about how to treat this area in terms of sculpting and lifting. So at around 10 minutes, I will do the final portion of this sequence where we're going to work around the eyebrows and the top of the forehead. Now, once you've worked on both sides of the face, now you want to work upward towards the eyes, the eyebrows, and the frontalis muscle. Working around the eyes is going to be particularly useful, and it's an area that sometimes goes ignored. So we're getting a little bit more specific around the lips, the eyes, and the face. As you guys can see here, I'm doing some lifting motions around the lips and cheeks, getting a little more specific. And as you can see, all of the motions are going towards lifting all of the muscles. Now, around the eyes, you want to work in this area. It's going to reduce puffiness and dark circles. So the gentle lymphatic stimulation that we're doing here is going to drain excess fluid that tends to accumulate under the eyes, especially in the mornings or due to fatigue if you haven't been sleeping well. This is also going to boost circulation. So the increase in blood flow to the skin under the eyes is going to brighten and improve oxygenation in that very specific area. As you guys can see, I'm just smoothing out around the eyes. You can just go all the way around, but you want to direct your pressure kind of upwards. So here I'm just working in all of those kind of little areas that you wouldn't quite think to work sometimes. This is also going to ease strain around that area. So the orbicularis oculi muscle, which is the one around the eye, often holds tension from squinting and screen use. Releasing this area is going to soften lines and reduce fatigue. So I like to use kind of the side of my finger here to just kind of gently get everything stimulated upward. After you've done that, you can do some stimulatory techniques in the crow's feet. Here I'm going quite gentle. I don't know if you guys can see that. This is a very kind of sensitive area around the temples, so I'm doing very, very gentle deportment with my fingertips. Also doing a little bit of massage around this area is going to smooth out the fine lines that tend to grow in those kind of smile areas for a lot of people. Now, working around the brows is going to be good for lifting drooping brows. So the upward sculpting strokes are going to retrain the tissue and fascia, counteracting the gravitational pull of sagging brows. You can do this in a wide variety of ways. Here, I'm just doing this repetitive technique with my finger and my thumb. Just very stimulatory, lifting up the forehead, lifting up those brows. Working this area is also good for relieving headache tension. So the corrugator and procerus muscles between the brows are responsible for frown lines. By stimulating them, it's going to release chronic contraction that contributes to headaches and a lot of times things that kind of frustrate clients, like little eye kind of tension, things like that. We're also opening around the eye area by working on the brows. So the lifting and plucking motions around the brows is going to create more openness, making the eyes appear larger and more awake. Working on the frontalis, you can just do some nice stimulatory techniques back and forth, just lifting everything up. This is going to soften expression lines. The frontalis is a muscle that's responsible for raising the brows and creating horizontal forehead wrinkles. So the massages are going to help to disperse that tension. Do some nice plucking around the eyebrows, lifting everything up, improving circulation around the area. The forehead area is actually neurologically linked to the frontal cortex, which is another thing I wanted to talk about. So stimulation here often has a calming, grounding effect, reducing stress and anxiety.